up. What's going on now? There you go. OBS is back. I'm not sure if you lost connection or something, but OBS does appear to be back now. I do apologise for that. So, pantograph, I want up. Make sure shoes are up as well. So yeah, shoes up, pantograph up. Switch power mode, switching to overhead. Third rail only, although I can see a pantograph on this train, so I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. So, overhead is now set. Reverses to forward. S, DRA off. Make sure that passengers are boarded. Let's go to 3 cam. And there you go, let passengers do their thing. So we should be able to depart momentarily on our first journey down the London Overground. Alright, doors are closed. There goes the bell. Put some power in. I hope yeah, so DRA release. Power is up. I'm not quite sure I'm not moving then. What was that? AWS is fine. TPWS is fine. Traction sand, traction faults. Doors are fine. Line power. Yeah, there is line power. Right, what am I missing? Probably be something simple. Right, try that again. So, pantograph down quickly. Let's do a quick reset of that. Right, pantograph is down. Pantograph up. Hold that for 2 seconds. Power is in the train. Power light is on. Pantograph is up. Train forwards. Throttle up. This is not going to be my day today. I think you guys can tell. Yeah, braking off. Train is in forwards. Right, try the other one then. Obviously, despite having a pantograph, this train doesn't actually have a functional pantograph. Right, main menu. Drive. It's annoying because it means we can't actually do the full route without the simulator telling us that we've had to finish halfway through. So setting the overhead will work in that aspect, but we can't then do the full line from Stratford to Acton. quickly get that working again, so I think that's not working properly. Anyways, yeah, so we'll get the train back up, and we'll give a shot at stats. And there we go. Right, so fairly simple. Let's put the train forward, AWS, power on, and off we go. Cool, so now making progress. Try not to speed too much. There you go, you wanted lights. I'll give you your lights. And there we go, now exiting Stratford. You can see the thing just to the left from the London Olympics. Not quite sure what that is, but it's now just a massive slide. And there we are now, Adventurer lookalike livery train in the 378s. So if I were to go free cam, we should be able to see the Elizabeth Stadium here. The Olympic Stadium, which actually looks a bit disappointing in real life than as you'd expect to see. Yeah, it looks better on a TV, I have to say. What else have we got in the Olympic Park? You've got that thing, you've got the swimming pool, the velodrome. It should be over there somewhere, but obviously I haven't gone and modelled everything. And it's back to our train. We should be able to increase speed now. Yes, we can, up to 20. Keep the smaller menu for that. Yeah, it's not the nicest livery in the world. I'm not a massive fan of it. I do much prefer the standard, or the old, I guess, London Overground livery. Right, so about 20 miles per hour. We shall soon arrive at Hackney Wick, our first station for the line. So yeah, we will be stopping at Richmond, not quite Acton, where we could then do the switch over AWS. Signal speed, line speed goes up to 40, so you can increase the throttle a tiny bit, but not all of the way. Bear in mind that station Hackney Wick is just around the corner from us. And there it is. Coming about 25, so speed wise we should be alright. Grand Union can now blow us. And there you go, can now start to think about coming to a halt at Hackney Wick. Sadly no announcements or anything. Something that we don't get in the Train Simulator series. Nor do we get in Train Sim World. The Euro Simulator I've ever really seen that in, or at least work properly, is in the World of Subways series. That shall do. Doors open. Passengers can now board and disembark how they choose. Yeah, so we are the full 5-car set. Bearing in mind that when London Overground first became a thing, these trains ran in 4-car sets. After about 2 years, I believe it was, they decided to make trains a little bit longer, now that service had proved itself, and they could invest in the extra cars for all of the trains. Yeah, just single person right now. Throttle up, and off we go. Hornerton coming up next. Homerton. Not a very fast bit of track this. Bear in mind that most of the London Overground limits about 40 miles per hour. This obviously is a lot slower. Sticking down to 25 miles per hour for the line speed. So yeah, not the most fun to drive in. Rather slow. But that is a part of the commuter service you get down in East London. There we go, speed limit goes up to 45. So you can have a bit more power behind the train. Homerton, though, is now 0.3 of a mile away, so we will then start thinking about slowing down in the moment. Comes to a halt, so the approach speed for this train will be around 30 miles per hour for stations. Now we can bring the train a little bit lower than that as well. We do approach, so we can now see it in front of us. Start slowing this train down. There we go. And then come to a halt now that we're at the station. Yeah, nice and simple. Again, only a single passenger here. Not the best break in the world, but have to do. Yeah, front car doors all refuse to open, as how Train Simulator works, assuming that a car's even partially off of it, so in reality these doors will still open. My shout settings will be working as well, this door will open as well, but how Train Simulator works is if the train's partially off the platform, it will not open. So in this case you can see the rear doors haven't opened either, since it's not quite where the simulators defined it as a platform. That's what the little green dot at the bottom does when it comes to the map. So it's not the most accurate system in the world, but it's what Train Simulator and Dovetail Games have decided to do in order to get some accuracy out of it. Speed limit line now gets us to 45 still, so we'll have a couple moments of high speed, I guess. At least as high as speed as you can get on London Overground. Getting a little fast, slow train down a bit. And there we go, start bringing train again to a halt now that they've arrived at Hackney Central and Dalston Kingsland. Is only a couple meters ahead of us. 0.81 miles at this point. So we put the train into neutral braking momentarily. 10 miles per hour as we crawl into station. Get to the stop sign just up ahead. So there you go, the S. See if the front doors open this time. Yes, they did. And yeah, station is plenty long enough for these 5-car trains. And then yeah, I can presume that around here is where the passengers will leave. Yeah, they go, well, they're actually going here. There you go, so up here, across, down, and through the ticket barriers. Through the doors here. And notice they actually go out via the pedestrian side. Down here will be another staircase, at least a ramp. Then onto the main road, which has to go parallel and underneath the bridge to here. It's a little bit of a trek, but not too long for some of these stations. Can I do the London Underground's Districts line? It's not a route that I have on the simulator. I know there is one for Train Simulator 2018. I cannot get it to work to save my life. It really is quite difficult to install. The trains I can get on with a lot of work, but the routes I am struggling with installing. So yes, I know it exists, but unfortunately it's not all I can do today. Septic, I do apologise. Alright, Dalston coming up next. Slowing train down. It's not a long platform at the station, quite short compared to some of the others on this bit of route. So yeah, again, I'm going to probably overshoot it a tiny bit. Yeah, not the best break in the world, but hey. I mean, these overground trains aren't my go-to trains on the simulator, I will say. Usually I am on the more mainline routes of the simulator. You should have go to have the Enya or the Great Western Main Line, Class 800 or 801. Not today. Today I'll do on the focus on the London Overground routes, but at some point I will do 800, 801. In terms of LNER, I need to know, because I know there is a freeware King's Cross to Birmingham routes, but and that's West Main Line. King's Cross to Peterborough routes, but actually, let me see what there is on the Steam store and on the Armstrong Powerhouse, plus that freeware UK train sim site as well. Because I know there are quite a few routes on there that I've looked at, but because of how painful it is to download on that site, something I have stayed away from, I'll be honest. I know if you do subscribe to Matt Pendleton on Twitch, you do get like a high-speed download thing from that site, but yeah, it's a very awkward site to download. It really is. The massive queues he gets just to wait for like a 5 megabyte download. It's not fun. Right, so Canonbury coming up. After that, Highbury and Islington. So we're now getting towards the more central part of London, though still very much in the northeast even, sorry. Yeah, I do need to start thinking about braking early as well, since my braking, like I said, ain't up to scratch today. Although we should be able to stop nicely in this station. Have I heard of Forza 4? Yes, I have. Not a game I personally own, but yes, I have heard of the Forza series. What have we got? We have 1/3 off fare rails for senior. Just £30 a year. Yeah, if only it works like in the real world. And yeah, go 1 for together cards as well, and 1 there. Welcome to the stream, Ben. I'm good. I'm good. Yourself? Like I said, it's been out today, a little tired, but otherwise not too bad. Just doing a bit of a train sim stream tonight. Trying out the 378s with the Adventure livery. Also be doing a bit of the 313 as well later on. Right, so Highbury and Islington coming up. Start slowing it down to 30 miles per hour. Again, train sim off sometime after next week. Yeah, have fun with that, Septiceye. It's a rather good simulator, one I have personally enjoyed for a couple of years now. Like my OMSI 2 videos. Yeah, I've not done an OMSI 2 video in ages now. It's something I do really need to start looking into again. Problem is with OMSI 2, there just isn't much coming out for it anymore. I mean, until the OMSI add on London, if it ever releases and makes an appearance, there just isn't too much really to go on with that simulator anymore, which is a shame. OMSI 2 is a really good simulator, and I could always like live stream some old content, old routes, but there really just isn't much you can do in that simulator anymore. It is a shame. It really is a shame. So, next station. Doors should be closing momentarily. There we go. And we are now cleared to depart. So next station, Caledonian Road. Again, 0.34 miles away from the Hybrid Islington station. Yeah, I too want to try out Tom's Yard on London. Although, me and the devs, well, to be fair, compared to what I've heard from that team, he's had his problems with this. But, yeah, I've been one of the main people who've been trying to push that add-on's release for a while now. So, it's probably fair to say I'm not exactly in his best pages for this. But, yeah, like I said, for the most part, it's a shame that route's not released. It should have come out, what, 2 years ago now? 3 years? But every time it's about to release, there's always an excuse which sees it delayed for an undetermined amount of time. And it does never end well. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame, that one. Hopefully we'll see it soon. But I think people do very much have their doubts at this point. Am I a beta tester? No, I'm not. I wish I was. But no, it's not something I have had the chance to do, I'm afraid. So, Caledonian Road and Barnsbury. And after that, there is in a bit of a stretch before we do go to the next station. So you live in London next to Paddington. I also live in London, but nowhere near Paddington. And there you go, another overground train on the other track there. Heading to Stratfords, although I don't think he's stopping. No, he's not. He's one of those new 5-car advertising trains. I was going to Chingford apparently, but not sure why he didn't stop there. I'm quite sure overground trains stop at every station. At least last time I checked they did on the routes. So we now depart Caledonian Road in Barnsbury, sorry. Our next station being a mile away at Camden Town. Camden Road even. It actually would be interesting to see then if we do actually cross the canal, in that case the Camden Lock, which would be quite a bit of scenery to see. See what we get when we're at the station, because if we do use the famous Camden train bridge, then yeah, that road I have been on a fair few times. Of course, the London Moomin shop is on that road, a shop I've been to too many times in the last month, I have to say. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. There's some express overground trains now because new overground trains. The new overground trains, what, I want to say 728, but I'm probably wrong with that one. But the Adventurer in shorts, yeah, the Adventurers, they're not active yet, so I don't think there are any express overground trains. Unless I'm wrong, it's not something I've personally heard of. Class 710s, that's it. So, Camden Road is ahead of us. Now roll into that. In Kentish Town West. Yeah, I know we are now. So, Camden Road, Kentish Town. Then it will be West Hampstead, I believe. Not that, I don't have a clue. A little bit of speeding. Speed goes down to 20. So, I'll slow down for that. Yeah, so I know that the 710s have been in testing up and down the line, but I know they haven't been in passenger services just yet. Initially they were brought in so that then they could put the 710s on the Watford Junction line, and then have the 378s on that to go to the other lines, but I believe that has since changed. Now they're just putting the 710s on the Goblin. They've changed the plans and the initial idea for them in the time since they bought it. So I'm not quite sure where they're going now, but to my knowledge it's no longer the Watford Junction line, or at least they're putting some on the Watford Junction line and some on the Goblin. Either way, it's because they've run out of capital stars and needed more trains. I mean, if I was the Transport Minister, I'd probably just gone for a couple more 378s, just keep the line uniform. But they decided to go for something more modern, which, fair enough. And to my knowledge, there are actually no more Electrostars being built. At least the last one was constructed in 2017, which then ended up on the Great Western Main Line, and now changing over their trains to Electrostars. Yes, do I like the 345 Adventure Crossrail trains? I've not been on one, in short. I've not yet been on a 345 Crossrail purple train, so I do not have an opinion on that, unfortunately. Alright, there's a canal. Let's quickly check the lock quickly, or at least the famous bridge, which isn't quite as aspiring in real life as it is in the simulator in real life. You live in Hemel Hempstead. Yes, I do know Hemel. I've been through it a few times. Hemel Hempstead. Is it? Oh no, hang on. This is the famous bridge, which again doesn't quite like it does in the real world. It was in a little side road here. I was watching the World Cup, England versus Croatia semi-final. Should have won that game. Should have won that game. We had it after 5 minutes, scoring a free kick. But sadly, we then played like England for the rest of the game. But yeah, I do know Hemel Hempstead, the UK capital for roundabouts, if I remember. You've seen when it says Elizabeth line, not TfL Rail. Yes, so the 345 Adventure Crossrail trains, they will say Elizabeth line because they are the Elizabeth line trains. TfL Rail were the... Gosh, where am I going to get my numbers from? Basically the old trains that go up and down the line. Those trains are the TfL Rail trains. They now currently service the Heathrow branch of TfL Rail. But the Adventurers are also currently mainly on the Shenfield branch. Which again is a branch I have never been on. Close I've been to it is Stratford, and now it's on the Central line. Switching over to either the Jubilee or the DLR. Yes, that's right, magical roundabouts. Man, the magic roundabouts, it's an interesting concept. Just even the signage for that is a mess. Crossrail's the mode, Elizabeth line's the route, and TfL Rail is Crossrail before Crossrail officially launches, which I believe is no longer in December. They've now pushed back to May, at the very earliest. So another non-stopping service. I'm sure these passenger trains are just not stopping at any of these stations. This one's not an advertising one. In fact, I think this is just a forecast set. Yeah, it's only a forecast set, not a 5-car. So you can tell this map is probably a couple years old now. Before they made a total switch over from 4 to 5-car trains. So, Kentish Town. Now, if my knowledge hasn't failed me, which it probably has done. Right, next station is Gospel Oak, so yeah, it has failed me. It's not quite at West Hampstead. Yeah, Hampstead's next station. So I don't quite know this bit of the line off by heart, it's safe to say. Crossrail trains don't say Elizabeth line on until Crossrail opens. Yeah, so Gospel Oak, next station. And later on we will then do the Gospel Oak to Barking line, or the Goblin, as it's affectionately known in London. Despite also being probably one of the worst lines on the Overground, without any form of power. No overheads, no electric, you have to use a diesel train on that. Which, actually, no, is it electric? Is it diesel? The Goblin? And do I have a train actually suitable for it as well, is the question. There we go. Welcome to Gospel Oak. So, this is our track here, the North London line. And over there, Just one of these is the Goblin. Goblin is diesel, currently electrified for the 710 operation. Yeah, so the 710s will eventually go onto the Goblin. Initially, the 710s were meant for Watford, but then they decided to change their minds and instead moved 378s to Watford and then put the 710s onto the Goblin. So a bit of a confusing setup since they've changed it. And even now I don't quite know how it's working. But hey, it's just how TFL works. Oops. Yeah, it's a 20 mph line that, so I'm not paying any attention to my speeds. Need to have a little fast for this bit of the track. Hampstead Heath is next station. And they're going a bit more distance between that and station after that. So we're going uphill slightly. I'll let the train roll to the next station. Just to keep power going in as we arrive. Bit more power in. Yeah, no worries, Ben. I'll talk to you later. See you around. Do stick around. Anyways, next station coming up shortly. And just slowly make our way into Hampstead Heath. Bit of a tunnel coming up after this. And like I said, a bit of distance between this and the next station, so you get a chance to really go up to 45 mph. And try out the full speed of London Overground. Right, so 710s are currently at Wilson Junction, that I do know, for North London line, so yes, okay. We'll then go on to the Goblin and the Watford leg for a few months. Then it will end up on the Goblin, Watford and North London. So Goblin will be all 710s, and then the others will be mixed fleets. Okay, so it really has just been a case where they're just buying excess trains for the route. There's going to be no real system to it, other than Goblin gets 710, and then everyone else just gets the excess. Right, now leave Hampstead Heath, 45 mph, entering the tunnel. And then it's Finchley Road and Frognall on the other side of that. Now go inside the passenger compartments for these trains. Fairly standard, really. Yeah, there's West Hampstead Station, so 3 stations in short intervals from one another. Once you do leave the tunnels. Likewise, you don't need to cross over we go underneath the Metropolitan and Jubilee lines, and then we go over the Thameslink lines after that. They call it an overground, when most of it is underground. I don't think so. The majority of the line is overground. A few portions of it is under, such as the East London line and a very small part of the North London line, but I do believe the majority of it is overground. I mean, with London Underground, about 40% of that is underground, about 60% is overground. With the London Overground, do correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's something like 20 to 80%, 20 under 80 overground. I'm probably wrong with those numbers, but it'd be around that region, I'd say. Anyways, Finchley Road and Frognall. We should be able to see the Undergrounds track ahead of us. They should call the London Undergrounds the Overgrounds, And the Overground should be the Overground. Underground, right. I mean, you can do if you really want to, but I doubt many other people would agree with that. There is more of the Overground Underground. So there's more of the Overground than the Underground is Overground. So, we should shortly see the, okay, so we do go over the... Oh no, this is Thameslink. So West Hampstead Thameslink is here, which is my station of daily commute up to Elstree and Boreham Wood every day. Then the Overground station's here. And then the Underground is there. Where is everyone? Hi, it's me, Gemma. I saw you last night. Where was I last night? Friday... No, yesterday was Saturday. Where did I go yesterday? I was at work most of the day, wasn't I? Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me who you are, sorry. Yeah, I went to work for most of it. And you'll stop at West Hampstead. Explore. So yeah, when it comes to me going to work, usually I'm taking a Metz line down to Baker Street. No, not Baker Street. Finchley Road, which is not so well put together. There's a Jubilee line back to West Hampstead. We then exit station, walk over. This is West Hampstead, and then normally I take the Thameslink train from here, as opposed to the Overground. Overground I don't actually ever use too much. To be fair, in the real world, the only time I ever use the Overground is when I need to travel up to Watford. Otherwise, I'm usually taking the Underground, or even taking a car, bus, or the Uber. What's my favourite London Underground line? Favourite London Underground line? Probably... I'll go through them all. Metropolitan line, useful, but I don't like the rolling stock. I do not like the S stock. In fact, let's go to map. I'll go it in order from the London Underground map. So, Bakerloo line. I do like the rolling stock. I do like the 1973. Thank you for following on Twitch, Etty. I've not changed the image over from my my fishing simulator stream I did a couple of weeks ago. Eurofishing, so that's the fish overlay. Oops. The Central line, I used to like it, and they limited the top speed of the trains, so now there's you kind of ruined it. The 1992 stock's a bit useless now. The Circle line, never had an issue with Circle line, very nice routes. Again, not a fan of the rolling stock though. Districts line, again, can be useful at time to time, but probably not my all-time favourite. Next one on the list is Hammersmith and City, wannabe Districts line. Jubilee, I like the Jubilee line. Jubilee line is very useful. Metropolitan line, again, very useful routes, but not a fan of the rolling stock. Northern line, again, Northern line has its uses, and I do quite like the 95 stock as well. 95 and 96 stocks I do like. The Piccadilly line, 1973 stock, again, very useful. But I have never been on an underground portion of the Piccadilly line. I've only ever been on the surface. Last time I took it was going to Heathrow Airport on my trip to Finland. So it was a case of changing at Axon Town and taking a branch out to Heathrow. Victoria line. I've been on the Victoria line in the past. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of their trains, the 2012 stock. Man, it's been a long time since I actually recorded it by that. But, yeah, the Victoria... Sorry, it's 2009 stock on the Victoria, 2009. Yeah, Victoria line, it's a decent route. I do like the rolling stock, it's not too bad. And, of course, the Waterloo and City. Yes, Waterloo and City is my favourite line on the Underground. 2 stations, 2 trains. You're not going wrong in that. There. If you're on my favourite routes, it's going to be the Waterloo and City. Let's go through the actual miscellaneous routes as well. So you've got the the DLR, which actually DLR I've used for quite a lot in recent months. So yeah, very useful, especially going to some of the more hard to get places in East London. London Overground, again, I never really used it to go to Watford, and I've used it maybe once elsewhere, and I was travelling from... Man, I'm using the Tube Map Challenge map. I've actually crossed out the station I have been to. Let's get a light on quickly. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see that. But yes, I've been on the Overground once, like another portion, from Whitechapel to Shadwell, and then as well a bit from Whitechapel to that bit on the District Jubilee line as well on that part of the map as well. After that, we've then got the Emirates Airline. Yeah, I'm not complaining. The Emirates Airline I've been on once. It was the middle of the night. It was a relaxing route. Went before the guards bell there. Whoops. After that, it's TfL Rail. Not really been on it. Yes, there's a lot of lines I've not been on in a long time, as you can tell, because I'm normally quite standardised with my routing. Yeah, so TfL Rail, I have been on never, and finally the London Trams, also have never been on them. I don't think I've ever actually seen a London Tram with my own eyes. I've been in Wimbledon area before, but I have never seen a London Tram. So, Kensal Rise. Again, with my super amazing braking skills, we're going to overrun slightly. I'll get used to the braking eventually. Are these doors even opening? Yes, they have. It's just the front cars I haven't opened properly. But yeah, my favourite stock on the Underground, historically, the A stock, currently, the 1972 stock on the Bakerloo line. It's the oldest stock on the line, but it's a rather nice train, one I do quite like to ride on just for the comfy seats really. Mon trains just have hard rock back, nothing fun. Well, I do like the 95 stock. It probably, in my opinion, has the least comfortable seats on the entire London Underground network. Those things are just rock hard on Northern Line. 96 stocks have slightly better seats, but they're not too bad, I guess. S-stock seats, they just do the trick really. They're not great, they're not too bad, they're kind of average. 1992 stock trains, Central Line. I've never had a problem with their seating. I've never had a problem. They're just spongy enough. Haven't tried 96 stock refurb then. No, I haven't. I've only been on the old 96 stocks. I've managed to avoid the refurb trains actually each time I go. I think I've been on them once, and I was standing for that portion of the route. So it's like I've actually managed to escape the back end of that. So, Wilson Junction next. We have a bigger station on this portion of the line. Thank you for subscribing, Wiley Gaming NL, much appreciated. Again, I've not got the actual image set properly, so again I have the fish on the screen and not the HST train going across. But hey, we all like the fish, don't we? Right, Wilson Junction. Nice and slowly. And stop. Again, going a bit fast, I'd say, but we should be able to make it this time. Yeah, plenty. So Willesden Junction being a bit of a changeover. So down below you have the Bakerloo and Overground tracks. You've then got the West Coast Main Line bit here that no trains ever really stop at. Bit over there, yes. The Bakerloo line's below us, along with the West Coast Main Line. And then they go shoot off in this direction. And actually, the 710s are based in this depot right here. So we've got a 378 here right now. But in reality, the 710s, the Adventurers, are based in this depot. And I remember when going to Birmingham International last time for EGX Res, there were a couple of them parked outside as well, who were quite interesting to look at. Wogstream, well, how are you doing today? Bakerloo line's on the lower platform at Willesden, yes they are. Yeah, Wogstream, well, how are you doing on Twitch? Yeah, my speed management is expert, as you can tell. So, down North London line. Next station, because again, I do want to try the electric pantograph and third rail switchover. But the problem is, the way the route is set up, I don't think that it will be possible. We'll have to see what happens when we do cross over it. Because if the next station is Richmond's going in, it's not part of the line I'm totally knowledgeable about. I'm going to show the London Underground map actually whilst I'm here. Next station is Action Central. No, that's Richmond. Okay, no. Yeah, next station is a change. So, for some reason, this time it has allowed us to go down to Richmond. As opposed to being stuck at Acton. So, that's quite nice. Of course, being at 30 miles per hour, it's a bit of a long trek to get there. Up to 35. And here we go, next station is approaching shortly. I wonder how the AI trains actually do the changeover. His pantograph is down, in actual fact. Yeah, the AI train... Oh no, the AI train doesn't even have a pantograph full stop. So I'm not quite sure how he's driving. I see he is a diesel train, but that's a bit... It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. Obviously, Dovetail Games did not quite know how to make a changeover work. And so I just had it easier to have trains go through without stopping. So again, none of the AI trains seem to stop. They seem to just be constant. I mean, fortunately for me, it means we're not stopping at any red signals. It's because we're stopping, train in front of us is not. But, yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. Anyways, Acton Central next. We shall start slowing down for that one. Yeah, speed limit goes up to 45, but that won't be required since the station's right ahead of us. So, bring it to the end of the platform. We just have the entire train in the station. And then you can see the third rail on the right there. So, let's bring the train to a halt momentarily. There we go. Right. Doors open. Pen on the right for me, so it's pantograph down. Now it's the shoe down. Power mode, switching to third rail. There we go. Change complete. And then put the throttle back to forwards. Didn't do the key thing, but it shouldn't affect us. Ding ding. And off we go. So we are now on third rail, as the line overhead is no longer powered. At least it will end very shortly. There we go. So no more overhead cables. We are now using the third rail system on this train. Because while the 378 may not be Dovetail Games' most advanced train, it does have a fair few systems that most other trains don't have, which does make it quite good. But yeah, so we're now on third rail. No overhead lines now carrying us for the rest of the journey. Bit bumpy there. Next station's very close now. Start slowing down for it. Again, eventually I will get used to the braking for these trains. Anyways, South Acton is now approaching. Then it's Gunnersby. AWS. So it's Acton, South Acton, Gunnersby, Kew Gardens, and then Richmond. So we're going parallel to the Districts line in a couple of moments. Well, the only one here. Yeah, sometimes my streams get a few viewers. Sometimes they don't. It really depends on, I guess, what day it is. I did want to stream Flight Simulator today, and I did want to stream on yesterday, but unfortunately plans for that have changed. And yeah, I had to work around that, which is slightly annoying, I guess, but it happens. It happens. Doors are closing shortly. Train is departing, and we are changing tracks to the left. So I can presume a slower speed limit while we do change points. 25. Close enough. Yeah, there are a few of these railway crossings in London, but for some reason it's not producing any sound. Something that you'd hope is the case with these, but unfortunately not. Gunnersby is coming up next, 0.3 miles away. In fact, it looks quite static. I know, they have opened. Cars will drive across. So yes, Gunnersby next. As the line speed is stuck at 25. So how are you guys doing today? Got a couple of viewers on YouTube, a couple of viewers on Twitch. Hopefully all is good with you guys today. So we'll be doing this line, this route, sorry. Well stream Joe, how are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. So we do this route, and we'll go to the Goblin next. And we'll do the Goblin in the... What Overground's diesel trains do we actually have? Because this would have been done in the time of the diesel. So what class number would it be on the Goblin with the Overground? That I will need to check. So it's not going to be a 378, it's a 172. Yeah, the good old Electrostars, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not bad. Like I said, I'm tired. Been out a bit. Thank you for subscribing, Joe. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Again, apologies for the fish. It should be a picture of a train, but I forgot to change them over since the Euro fishing stream I did a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, oops. But yeah, it's 172 Clubman. I'm driving the Electric Star Castle. Ah, sorry, yes, Clubman is the hang on. So the Electric Star is the electric train. The Clubmans and the Turbo Stars and Turbo Express, whatever they're called, those are the diesel trains. Because for those who know me, it's 166 or nothing. This world will not be able to operate without a class 166 in action. Reliable, happy, long living. They're beautiful trains, the 166s. Right, next station is Richmond, which is the terminal station for this route. So it's Kew Gardens then Richmond. I'm really not getting my route well today, aren't I? Right, so Kew Gardens, 0.6 miles away. Be able to cruise at 40 for a bit. Put a little more power in actually to get to 0.3 miles. Bring it down to 30 again for slowing down and stopping. We are now crossing the River Thames. Do I like Train Sim World? Yes. I am very much a fan of Train Sim World, very much a fan of Dovetail Games in that regard. It's a game I have enjoyed playing a bit since it first released, actually. Basically, Dovetail Games had once a year on Facebook, Dovetail Games have like a treasure hunt thing. We have to go follow all the clues, spell out a word, and you get a free game. So I completed that, and decided to get Train Sim World, fell in love with it. And this was way before I did YouTube, so this is a little bit before that. But yeah, got Train Sim World, loved it, although that was despite American train routes not being my, like, #1 thing at the time. But ever since the Great Western Railway then released, it's been a personal favourite of mine. Right. Come to a halt. Breaking down to 1. So yes, we are now sharing track with the Districts line, of which branched onto us a little bit further back. Now, which station is this? This is Gunnersby, which is also on the Districts line. And there goes this bit here where it branches off, and down there is Turner's Green on the Districts line. Or at least would be, and they're going to model it. Yes, I also have all the routes on Train Sim World, and I will most likely have all the routes in the future. There you go, the third and fourth rail just spawned in there very last second. A little fast. Sound the AWS signal is now yellow, as there will be a red one coming up shortly in about 1 mile when we do reach Richmond Station. Now this is one I certainly don't want to overshoot, bearing in mind it is the final station of the line, and there will be a buffer waiting for us at the end. So, it's shortly start slowing down, about half a mile to go. Start slowing down. AWS. Now, stop the braking. A little longer to go. There you go, the final signal before you reach the end of the line. So you can now see Richmond Station just in the distance there. Nice and slowly, about 30 miles per hour, that's fine. Down to 15 for the next bits. And just slowly crawl to the station. So, which platform are we taking? I believe we're going straight here. Yes, we are. So, what we're going to do now, I'm going to be doing the Goblin, the Gospel to Barking line in the class 172. Which I don't know if I've got an Overground livery for, but I do know I have got the 172, so we'll be using that one next. Right, end of the platform is now visible. Start bringing this one to a halt. So yeah, so we're doing the 172 next, and then we're doing the 131 on the South London line. Why don't you have any moderators? Because I've never had a need for them really. My channel isn't too spammy, and it's quite easy to handle on my own, so I've not really had a need for moderators. And last thing I want is someone to just kind of like abuse their power and create more problems with that. Well done, you have reached the end of this quick drive scenario. Let's see how many speeds I've got, how many points I've lost for terrible driving. So speeding 22 times, only 22. There you go. So in the capital start, I've now got 1 hour, 6 minutes and 15 seconds. In fact, that's on I was driving right now, is it? Yes, it is 1:06:15. And I've got 9 minutes, nearly 10 minutes in the 3-on-3. I'm not quite sure what that means though. I think it's actually, no, that plus that. Anyways, if you now head back to the main menu, go through drive. Right, next one we'll be driving is the 172. See which one I've got. Got 170. Do I have a 172? If not, I'll have to use the 170. Yeah, we have 172 Turbo Star. Perfect. Overground's 2 cars. This is not a very nice train. Let me warn you that now. The 172 on the simulator, it's not the best. It really isn't the best. There you go, North London Goblin line, and we'll do the whole thing. So we'll start at Richmond. Ooh, it's actually a bit of a long line, I have to say. Okay, so we've been Richmond, Kew Gardens, Gunnersby, cab doors open. If we start at Wilston Junction, actually we've been there. If we start from Gospel Oak, so we'll just do the whole Goblin itself. Gospel Oak to Barking, because essentially we've done all this top bit already. So start Gospel Oak, end at Barking. We'll do the whole Goblin. Let's make it a sunny day as well. Let's get this one loaded. So, Train Simulator loading in the background. Oh yes, by the way, the theme song in this one, this is the Matt Pedalston Train Sim Live Train Simulator background music thing. It's basically a lot nicer than the default one, which just sounds of trains in the background. So, decided to switch that one over. To be fair, it's not a bad theme. Internet. There we go. Right, we're back. We